We are introducing our automated marketing program for listings, or AMP, and I'll give you a little bit of brief background of kind of where we came from with this program and the direction we're headed, and run you through the whole thing. And then at the end, we'll open up for any questions if anyone has any. So whenever we kind of start working on, a new program, we want to start with what are the problems that we're looking to solve. And in this case, the first was to elevate and standardize the quality of our listing marketing materials that are available to our agents. So obviously with 300 plus agents, the quality, the difference of marketing was kind of all over the board. And that was the primary goal of this project, was to figure out a system where we can really standardize that quality and look and feel of our marketing materials and presentations for listings, so that clients really feel like, no matter what agent they were to go with at Crossroads, that they're getting, a similar product across the board. And then AMP also functions to alleviate the time requirements and technical skills required to successfully implement the best marketing practices for all our agents. So, for agents that are busy working, especially what's going on right now, everyone's kind of, killing themselves out there to keep up with everything. We really wanted to make sure that this program enabled you to kind of put the least amount of time into the minutia of the listing marketing side of it. And then also make sure that all the items were getting done. So in the past, we've had, plenty of agents that have gone out and spent a ton of money on, either Motion City or, another, provider to get a ton of marketing materials. And then the materials themselves weren't implemented properly. So even though, you spent all this money on drone photography or video, you didn't go through the process of getting it to where it needed to go. So a lot of people think if you put those links in MLS, they appear everywhere. That's not the case. Especially when you're talking about your Zillow feeds, your Realtor.com feeds, even feeds into our own website, a lot of that data doesn't get transferred. So we want to make sure that if we are spending, the money and time to do these higher end marketing assets, that they are getting deployed where they need to go. So really those are the two goals that we were trying to accomplish here. And now let's kind of look at why this is so important. So a couple stats here. I'm sure most of you are highly aware of how important media is for listings. A couple stats I'll run through: 47% higher asking price for homes with professional photography. Homes with professional photography sell 32 days faster. NAR did a study where they went out and talked to homeowners, and 73% they're more likely to list with an agent who uses video inside their marketing presentations. $12,000 more a home sells that has professional photos and 3D tours. We'll talk a little bit more about 3D tours later, but obviously with the COVID situation, we're all sitting here on Zoom meetings. This kind of remote style and 3D tours are becoming, much more important than they were 6 months ago. And that trend's really not going to go down. People are looking to see homes, more homes in a 3D tour fashion before they're making their ultimate decision to go see one or two homes in person, right? They don't want to go and see 35 homes in person. They'd rather whittle that down through various sources. And that's really going to depend on virtual tours and photography. As people flip through Zillow, one or two bad photos at the beginning of a listing will get them to click right onto the next listing in Zillow. So we really want to make sure that first impression is where it needs to be. And then again, 77% of home buyers are preferring to take a virtual tour before visiting a home. That stat was done during this COVID pandemic. So you'll see, just to the point I made, most people want to actually see some sort of virtual tour before making the commitment to go actually see the house in person. So let's talk a little bit about what the program is and how it works. So on a very broad level, before we get into these individuals, Crossroads Realty has hired a full-time staff photographer to handle most of the marketing that's required for an agent when they get a listing. We also have some partnerships with some other companies that are going to help us through this process. But primarily, most marketing will now be done by in-house employees of Crossroads, as opposed to outsourcing it to third parties. So what this slide shows really is how we wanted to make it extremely simple and time effective for you as an agent. So when you get a new listing, you're going to fill out a form, and we'll talk about the specifics later, but you're going to fill out a very simple form online. Essentially, it's asking for the property address, client information, pricing, and then which marketing package you want. We'll run through that form at the end of this presentation so you can see exactly what it looks like. Once you fill in that form, the form is going to be received by somebody at our marketing department, and they're actually going to go ahead and schedule the photography directly with the homeowner on your behalf. So you don't have to worry about doing the phone calls back and forth between photography companies and homeowners, et cetera, et cetera. All that's going to be handled for you by our employees internally. On the day of the shoot, the photographer is going to go out and capture all the different marketing assets that you requested. So we'll go through here the packages in the next couple slides and show you what options are available. But whether it's photography, drones, drone video, 3D tours, motion video, all the options that are kind of out there today are available to you and will get done on the shooting day. Again, mostly by an internal employee of Crossroads. And then if we need to outsource any of the work, we certainly have the ability to do that. Once that photography assets come back, they're going to be sent back to our marketing department, who's going to handle editing and actual upload of the assets for you. So really, as an agent, after you fill out that form, the only other thing you need to do between that and all this being accomplished is going ahead and going into Flex MLS and creating an incomplete listing of the property, right? So you're going to go in, you can do that as simply as to create an incomplete listing. You can put in just the address and then hit save incomplete, right? And that saves it so that it's there for marketing to access. Or certainly you can go through and fill out your entire listing agreement so that the second the marketing comes back, you're ready to go live. But you do want to create that incomplete inside of the MLS. Marketing is then going to go in and upload all your photography directly into MLS for you. All right, so that'll save you a bunch of time. You obviously, before they're not hitting go live, so you do have the ability to look at that right before it goes live if you wanted to reorder anything for any specific reason or delete a photo. You certainly have that ability before you hit go live. Once you do go live, they're also going to take all those additional assets, so non-photo assets, so your drones, your 3D tours, motion video, etc., are going to be put onto Zillow, Realtor.com, the Crossroads website, all for you. So that's nothing that you no longer need to worry about. And then you'll have a portal with all of those assets as well. So you'll have direct access to all those videos and photos. If you wanted to email them to anybody or do anything else with them, you certainly have full and total access to all those assets. For all properties above 150,000, and again, we'll get into the packages, but they're going to have a single property website created for those. So not only will they go to the Crossroads website as usual, and Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com as everything always does, but you'll get a single property website. So if anyone's ever used Motion City before, or a company like that, or a tour factory, and got that single property option, you'll know that that's a website dedicated specifically to that property, has all of the assets that you captured directly on that website, as well as a lead capture form. So really great marketing piece that you can go out and sell to your client. For an extra few dollars, you can actually get a custom domain name for that website. So it could be called, 123hickorystreet.com or whatever's available. And you can point all of your marketing, down the road directly to that site. And clients, the homeowners love to kind of see their own website built for their house. So it's, again, a great marketing tool. And then again, we can use that for all of our lead generation on the back end, right? So if we're doing Facebook ads or print advertising, we can put that single property website address right on there to make sure that all the people that come on are going to that address, seeing all the great marketing that you've done, and then ensuring that the leads get sent directly to you as the listing agent. And then the final piece is all of the marketing pieces attached to it. So again, we'll get through the nitty gritty here in a second, but every package comes with your choice of marketing material. So we know that every agent's a little different on how they want to build out their marketing profile for yourself, right? So some people like to lean towards the digital side. Some like to lean towards print marketing, advertising, those, sorts of things. So there's a couple different options that you're going to be able to choose and say, when I get my listing, here's the one free piece that I want to choose, so that we're not kind of making you go in a direction that you don't want to go. And then you have the ability to add on to that right at that time. So if you want to do a couple different options, that's certainly available to you as well. And whatever option you choose will be entirely handled by the marketing department. So you don't have to put any additional effort into it other than just simply telling us what you'd like. So the services that we're going to be able to offer in-house now are obviously real estate photography, drone photography, and drone video. Those are two separate services that are available. Again, the 3D virtual tours are going to be standard on every home above $150,000. We really want to make sure we're capturing that market. Nothing would make me happier than when people go on Zillow and they start looking for that 3D virtual tour banner. Every single listing at Crossroads has that sitting alongside some excellent photography. Video walkthroughs, both narrated and non-narrated, are available. So if any of you are looking for the kickstart of your Hollywood career, we certainly can do agent narrated videos, or we can do non-narrated, no agent videos as well. Digital advertising through Facebook and Google. Again, we talked about the single property websites, print advertising, automated property flyers, and open house marketing. So those are kind of all the different pieces that are encompassed into the services, depending on, again, the avenue that you'd like to go. So let's talk a little bit about the advertising beyond the photos themselves. Again, each and every package includes your choice of one marketing item, and then you can add on additional items at a cost of $50 per item as you desire. We want you, again, as the agent, to be in control of your own marketing decision. And here are the couple options that are available to you at this point. We will add more as they become available to us. But we have our Boost digital advertising. Some of you have been doing the Boost ads. That's your Google and Facebook advertising, as well as Instagram. I know the people that have been doing it have been pretty happy with the service so far for the costs. Quite a few agents have got back to me that they're have been double-siding deals and getting quite a bunch of buyers leads off a property. So that option is certainly available to you. If you still want to do an APP open house ad, you can go ahead and choose that if you feel that that's important for yourself or your homeowner to actually have that paper ad is available to you. Your just listed postcards, if you want to shy away from digital and go more towards the print side, we certainly can do your just listed postcards. And again, because now Crossroads Marketing has access to all these wonderful assets that we're creating in the photography and digital side, we can go ahead and make those and design all those cards for you without having to kind of go back and forth constantly. And then we have the option for homes and land. So if anyone gets a property over $500,000, we can print that property in both Homes and Land magazine. But even more important than the magazine is the online presence that Homes and Lands provide, right? So again, it has to be over $500,000 for Homes and Land to even accept the ad. But the property goes out to a ton of places: Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Washington Post. So some really big kind of New York metro presence. If you have a property that you feel, should be marketed in that, Long Island, New York City, Staten Island area, Northern New Jersey, that's really the spot to push your advertising. And then special projects, right? So I know everyone has kind of some other things that they like to work on from time to time, and certainly we can build that on a case-by-case basis into the advertising. So, if you want to do a project for Military on the Move or a civic organization, you want to do some custom mailers, specialized online campaigns, right? We just want to say we want to promote you instead of promoting a property. Anything that falls kind of into the budgetary requirements of the project are certainly open for discussion. We want you to have full access to the marketing department, come up with your ideas. At the end of the day, the agent ideas tend to be the best ones, that we're not out there every day doing what you're doing. So you guys come up with the good stuff and we're happy to implement it for you. So, feel free to have that conversation with marketing at any time, for a property, and we can certainly work with you on that. Let's talk a little bit about the pricing structure and the packages. I think the most important to all the agents out there, especially in times right now where we have, a ton of stuff going on in our lives, there's no upfront charges for any of these packages, right? So obviously there's a cost associated with them, but no matter what you choose in the beginning, no matter what package, what marketing materials, Crossroads is not going to charge you for any of that. We will recoup that money at closing. All right, so you can go ahead and get all the professional assets you want. and then you don't have to pay for them until that property closes. In the event that the property doesn't close, Crossroads will absorb that price, right? So we're only going to charge you when that property closes, regardless of the situation. So essentially there's 5 packages included inside this plan. The basic packages was reserved only for homes under $150,000. They include basic home photography. Number of photos is decided kind of based on what's available to the photographer, and the cost is $75. So when you look at this, with a $50 marketing asset included in it, we got photography down to essentially $25 for houses under 150,000. The reason we talk about the number of photos included is that we really want to have a less is more approach many times. So all too often we see agents kind of just feeling like they need to get as many photos into a package as possible or into a marketing piece as possible. And sometimes that's not the right answer, right? There's houses out there that just can't be photoed well. No matter what you do, it's not your fault. But as we go through MLS and we really started pulling, hundreds and thousands of listings through Crossroads' history, we noticed that trend of there's a ton of photos on there that don't need to be on there. Now, that doesn't mean that the photographer is not going to take a few more photos, right? Just so we have them as reference points if we ever need them. But we're not going to go ahead and put a photo, of a hoarder house with complete disaster in the living room. Does not need to be on Zillow, right? We'll get a really, the best shot we can of the outside of the house. We'll get a shot, of any rooms that we can, but we don't want to force the situation and really put negative marketing pieces online. It's much better for you to get that lead coming in and have an honest conversation with the buyer than to go ahead and kind of just, you put that out there into the Zillow land and your phone will never ring, right? So we want to be smart about those packages when possible. So again, that's the basic packages, homes under $150,000 for $75. The bronze package, I'll really call the standard package that's going to apply for most homes out there. And that's your basic photography package, your single property website, right, and a basic 3D tour that's going to be automatically uploaded to Zillow for you. And the cost of that is $125. So that'll be a full photography package, at the level that, is available, for the property. Again, that custom single property website for everyone for, I believe it's $10. I think it may or may not be on that slide, but for $10, you can get that, $10 or $15, you can get that custom domain if you want to label the property website. But either way, you're going to get access to that beautiful property website. And then again, having that basic 3D tour, right? So that's done with our Ricoh camera using the Matterport software. And is literally going to be, again, my goal is to have this done on almost every house in Crossroads. So I don't know when this whole pandemic thing is going to end, and I don't know when we'll all be back having these meetings in person. But certainly for the time being, that 3D tour is the #1 thing you can do as a realtor to make sure your property is getting out there marketed. And again, even when this is all over, I don't see that going away. Kind of the next quote unquote generation of buyers is going to, make that their de facto way of purchasing things. As we step up from there, so you'll notice it's kind of just, that's the base level package or the standard. And then we just start adding on additional assets as we move through the packages. So the silver package includes everything that the, previous package does. And then we add in drone photography. So drones is one of those things, they can be extremely valuable when the property dictates, right? So if you have a home inside of, just a normal residential neighborhood, normal house, normal backyard, drone's not going to add a lot of value to that, right? But if you have any sort of property that, has a large amount of property in an interesting area that you want to show off kind of what's around it, that's really where drone comes into play. Another, sidebar to this, but what's really nice about putting a package like a program like this together, rather, is that we start to collect all these assets, right? And we don't have to reduplicate efforts. So I'm sure, especially in your guys' office, many of you are selling homes in the same couple communities all over the place, right? And we don't need to get drone photography of the Renaissance 37 times. They don't build stuff there all that often as far as, amenities go. So we've already sent our photographer out and got amazing drone footage of all the amenities of the Renaissance, for example. And we plan on doing that for many more properties as listings come up. And then we can reuse that stuff. So, if just looking at names here, if Susan gets a listing in the Renaissance and we already have that material, we don't have to go ahead and do that again. We can just keep reusing the same, drone footage of the golf course or, photography of the clubhouse. That can be reused for all of us across the board. So again, bronze to silver is simply adding in that drone photography if you have a property that you feel it would benefit from. Also, especially in Manchester area, I learned this lesson the hard way. I live right around the corner from your guys' office, and we have to be careful with drones and the military base, right? So you can't fly drones within some amount of miles of there. So our photographer has their FAA drone license and is going to be doing this work. So they know when you can and can't, but just know that if you ever, get an email back saying, hey, we changed your package, no drones, it's for that reason. So anytime you're near an airport, it's a no-go on the drones. And then as we step up into the gold package, includes photography, the single property website. We step up from the basic 3D tour, which is done again with the Ricoh cameras, up into the Matterport camera, right? So the Matterport's an extremely expensive laser imaging camera. So it not only takes photography of floor plans, but it does your laser measuring. So that gives you the 2D floor print. And it also gives you that really cool dollhouse view if anyone's ever used or seen Matterport tours before. It's really the step up. It's the gold standard of 3D tours that allows you to, pop the roof off the house and see the rooms as a floor plan in a 3D, and then, move through the house in a more 3D environment as opposed to an image environment. So the Matterport 3D tour with floor plans, drone photography, and then also drone video. So again, your drone video kind of elevates that drone idea to the next level. Taking, instead of just still images from the air, it's also kind of doing some moving fly-ins. If anyone ever watches like $1 Million Listing on TV, they always have that quintessential shot of the drone, flying into the house through the front door, stuff like that, where, we can add that video into the marketing package. And then finally, the Platinum package, it's available on all homes, but it's required on homes over $750,000. So if you get a listing over $750,000, this is just going to apply automatically. And this is literally everything we can throw at a property, right? So we have the photography, custom single property website, Matterport 3D tour with floor plans, drone photography, drone video, and then we add in the motion video walkthrough, which brings an entire camera crew on site and does video walkthrough to coincide with the motion Matterport 3D tours. And the cost of this is $500. Just to give you an idea, where this pricing lands, if you were to do that Platinum package with any other provider out there, I can tell you exactly, Motion City is right about $1,100 for that package. So, using employees of Crossroads as opposed to third parties, this program is not we're not looking to make money on this as Crossroads. We're looking to get the results we want of having the best listings out there of any of our competitors. So we're not paying that premium to be able to do these projects. So pretty much across the board, the pricing, particularly with the marketing assets added in at the lower end, is substantially less than you would get. But just that, even in the gold package, just that Matterport 3D tour with floor plans is about $200 and something. Drones another $200. So I'd say that package is probably in the $700 range. So, we're really trying to get this to an affordable option for you as agents. And then again, throwing it in there that you don't have to pay for it up front is a little bit of bonus, I hope, for everybody. So the team that's working on it, obviously, Bridget, she's quarterbacking all these kind of operations on the back end of our, software packages that are doing all this. And then Sandra Stelmack, who's the person I really want to speak about for a second, is the photographer that is, now a full-time employee of Crossroads. Sandra has a master's degree from Syracuse University in photography, a BA in journalism, and she has been working as a real estate photographer and drone operator since she graduated college. So her body of work is absolutely amazing. We sat down with probably 45, 50 photographers during the interview process. And her stuff is unbelievable. Her last job, she's moving down out of Long Island, but she worked for Signature Premier Properties in Long Island, which I believe the cheapest house they ever sold is about $2 million. They're out in the Hampton section of Long Island. So she's an unbelievable photographer. We're looking forward to getting started with her. And then aside from the employees involved, we also have our partners. So for those of you that are familiar with Motion City or ever used Motion City, we've partnered with them on this project. And the reason that's important is that, we know that one person can't do all this work all the time, right? Listings don't come in a predictable fashion. We don't get 2 every day, which would be really nice and, easy to work with. But the truth is, listings come in 10 today and none tomorrow, right? Or then we get weather delays, which is always the most unpredictable part about photography is you can't shoot in the rain. So as scheduling gets a little crazy in busier times of the year, Motion City will be picking up all of the excess. And the reason that's important is I don't want anyone to think that this is going to change kind of the standardized process that anyone ever used Motion City would have gotten, right? So they're fully aware of what we're doing internally, and then they're helping us out. So our goal is to make sure that we have photography assets back to you in 72 hours from the time you fill out that form, as long as it's feasible by the homeowner and the weather somewhat cooperates. So don't ever feel like this is going to cost you time. We ask that you give us as much time as possible, but in an emergency situation, we can have Motion City out there in 24 hours. The other nice benefit of a company like Motion City is that they cover the entire state of New Jersey. So certainly it wouldn't make sense for us to send a photographer if you got a listing in Sussex County. It would be more driving for her than photography time. But Motion City does have that reach anywhere in the state of New Jersey. So we are going to be able to service 100% of the listings inside of Crossroads. Abstract Marketing is a third-party digital asset company that we use. So when we work on some of our Facebook ads, some of our higher-end marketing components, they're available. And then most of you are familiar with Boost, who does our digital media advertising for Facebook, Google, and Instagram. So we're going to go into the form here in a second. I want you to all write down this phone number. All right. This is it's a new phone number to Crossroads, but it's the Crossroads Realty Corporate Services phone number. A couple things you can use this for, but 732-487-3666. If you were to call that number, you'll get a voicemail that can connect you to kind of all the corporate services Crossroads has to offer. So one phone number to easily get to say IT or bookkeeping or the photographer, marketing departments, relocation departments, all can be accessed if you were to call that number and then just follow the prompts. But more importantly, in this case, this phone number allows you to text the word AMP, A-M-P, to that phone number. And if you text AMP to that phone number, it's going to send you the link that you need to fill out to activate one of these listings. All right. So real simple. The forms are, made to be done on your cell phone. So we really want to encourage, you go into that home and you're ready to get that listing signed. Before you leave that driveway, text AMP to that phone number, store that phone number in your phone, and get the process started, right? Like I said, the more lead time we have, the better. And it'll really be great for your clients to feel like everything you just said in your marketing presentation, because you guys should all be, selling the heck out of this to your clients. How cool is it that, 20 minutes after you leave, they're getting a phone call from Crossroads Marketing saying, hey, let's start scheduling this stuff, right? It's instant gratification back down to your clients of everything that you just sold them on. The link's also available on the Crossroads Realty resources page. If you went there right now, it's not available because start date is not yet today. But if you were to text AMP, you will get that form as of today. All right, and then quick summary before we get into the form itself. So again, kind of tying this all together, what are we trying to accomplish? So better photography for every listing, less time spent by you as the agent to coordinate all this, more marketing options, the ability to individualize and choose your own marketing plan and path, automate the listing process as far as assets and the marketing goes, making sure that we're really on top of the content delivery to Zillow, Realtor.com, our website, pushing out that single property website to make sure that after we spend all the time, money, and effort to do all this, that the work is actually ending up in front of clients' eyeballs. which then in turn, leads to our lead generation. So all of that without the content delivery portion doesn't get you anywhere. Again, no upfront cost to agents. It's all billed at closing of the property. And all of you should know Bridget's phone number. So this is the actual form. All right. Again, works perfectly on your cell phone as well as a computer. But again, text AMP to that phone number. You'll get the link. Click on the link in the text message that you get back. It'll take you right to this form. I will ask, if you're in groups and you guys want to try out this form prior to the November 1 start date, go ahead. I just ask that, don't do it 800 times. Because every time you do a test, quote unquote, we just need to verify that it's a test and then clean out our database before we go live. So, maybe kind of do one together as a group, or just make sure you put property data in that tells us it's a test, right? And I'll do that here with you, but feel free to use it. Just don't kill the system in the meantime. So if we go ahead, we'll just simply hit start, and it says, "Hi, I'm Elena." That's the name of the little bot assistant here, and she's asking what our name is. So I'll be the agent in this case. It wants my telephone number. It asks for the name of the client. Wants the client's telephone number. The address of the listing. So here's where I'd say just make sure, that, you're identifying it as a test if you want to play with this, by the address or something like that. So we know that, we don't need to reach out to you for it. What were you thinking of the go live date to be? All right, so that could be anything. Obviously, like I said, the more time we have in between, but we will accommodate, anything that's possible to get this as quick as possible. But I know now, especially with coming soons and stuff, that agents are pushing out start dates a little longer. So if you don't plan on going live with this for a week or so, go ahead and put the date that you want to see that in there, so that we can get our scheduling in order. It asks us what the listing price for the home is going to be. All right, then it shows us based on the price that we just put in, what packages are available to us. All right, so here you'll see we're over 150,000. So we have our bronze, silver, gold, and platinum package. I'll go ahead and choose the silver package. All right, it asks me, so it is $10 for that. Do I want that custom domain name, right, attached to it? So I'll go ahead and say I do. Then it says we get one free advertising option with every listing. So you get to choose from these advertising options available here. Open House Asbury Park ad, the Facebook Google advertising, your just listed postcards, or the homes and land. So I'll go ahead and do the advertising. And then again, if you'd like to do additional ones, they're $50 a piece. And you can go ahead and add that. So maybe I'll do the postcards as well. All right, and then it adds that up and says, "Great, Chris. So altogether, our campaign's going to cost $260. No payment due now. We'll take care of everything and invoice you at the closing." And once we click the submit button, we're done. So little summary, and that's really all you need to do. There's a ton of communication that happens on the back end of this software. So the second that the date gets scheduled, you as the agent are going to get an email and a text message, all right, telling you that, hey, 123 Main Street's been scheduled for Tuesday at 2 o'clock. That message is also going to get text message to the homeowner, all right, so that they know when it's coming. 24 hours before the scheduled start time of the photos, the homeowner is actually going to get a phone call, an automated phone call from the system just confirming the appointment. They can hit 1 or 2 to confirm or request a day change of the appointment. When that gets confirmed, again, you'll get a text message verifying that everything's been confirmed and ready to go. A lot of people have asked, whether you as the agent needs to be there for the photography. Do you have to be there? No, I leave it up to you of, determining how you want to handle your own clients, but there's not a mandatory requirement for you to be there. Again, what's nice is, the photographer and the photography teams are now introducing themselves to your clients as Crossroads employees, right? So they'll be wearing Crossroads apparel, they'll have Crossroads business cards. So it really ties in this whole kind of marketing process to your client as a one-stop shop that Crossroads Realty is offering for you. So again, that's the form. Once the assets come back, right, so they've been edited and they're ready to go, after they've been uploaded to MLS, you'll get one final text message automated from the marketing department saying your assets have been uploaded to MLS. You're ready to go live when you want to. All right. So you're kind of notified and kept in the loop at any time. If there's any questions, you certainly can reach out to Bridget, who again is kind of quarterbacking the process from behind the scenes. We also have the ability to give that link to your homeowners. I know a lot of homeowners, they're kind of leaving the home that they've lived in and loved for a long time. And they want a copy of the marketing materials to take with them as a memento. So we do have the ability to send them that digitally or like on a thumb drive as a part of this program. And there'll be a little bit more training for everybody on the back end of the single property website and some stuff that you can change the look and feel of it when we get to that point. But it's as hands-off or as hands-on as you want it to be. And I really think the hands-off is the best part of it. If you simply fill out that form, everything will just happen for you. It'll happen 100% in a timely fashion. If you want to be more involved, you're certainly welcome to be, and we encourage that. But just know that you can fill out that simple form and everything takes over from there. I'm going to stop my screen share here and see if we have any questions. All right, so it looks like everyone's muted. The people that are with Dawn in person, why don't, Dawn, you unmute and you can pass along questions to me?
Yep. Lower your volume.
Then the people that aren't in the office, I'll,
Yeah, absolutely.
get over
So
up after that.
Dominic has a question, so here you go.
Who does the staging for the photographer?
So we're not doing, furniture staging or anything like that. There is a document that goes out to the homeowner on the, tips and tricks. Again, if anyone's ever used Motion City, they're familiar with this process, but how to clean up your home, to make it quote unquote photography ready. Our photographer will do what any other photographer would do when she gets there is, take some stuff off the counter and, et cetera, et cetera. She's certainly not going there and, vacuuming the carpets and painting the walls, right? So you as the agent, that's part of your process to the homeowner is to make sure that it's as good as it can be. And our photographer, will help assist the process when she gets there.
Well, the other thing is too, I don't know if you've ever read the checklist from Motion City, but that checklist is very, very detailed. So if the homeowner lives in the house, that's one thing. If the house is vacant, which a lot of our listings are, that's something that's going to fall onto you or to the family. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, or unfortunately, it might be that situation, right? We all know that there's going to be, houses that just, like I said earlier, just can't be photoed well, right? Mm-hmm. It's a hoarding situation. It's whatever. I mean, we had one the other day that, photos went live on a property where there was a person laying in a hospital bed in the living room. That's not appropriate to put on MLS or
no,
Zillow, right?
No.
So again, less is more sometimes.
All right.
We'll take what we can and we won't take what we can't. But again, it's a process between the agents and us. So two-pronged approach to educate the client as much as possible. I believe the clients, know this already, but the ones that don't, we need to be saying to them in the listing presentation, going along with now everything that we're offering, that, photos will sell their house or not sell their house. It's that simple. People are looking at homes on Zillow, period, of end of conversation. As much as we all don't want to agree with that, that's the truth. So if you imagine yourself shopping for a home and you're flipping through that list of, 100 properties that match your search criteria on Zillow, if that's what you see first, you're going to the next one.
Right there.
Right? So we want to educate our clients, hey, do your best to get the house ready for photography, walk them through it. Again, we're reinforcing that through the information that we send directly to your client about getting the home photography ready. And certainly being that we have our own photographer now, we can do a little bit more than what a Motion City may have done. She's going to go in there. She can help them, move some stuff off the counter. Can they move furniture around? No, of course not. But I think we'll get a better result than we normally would, but it definitely helps if we start that conversation early with the client.
Chris, this is that doc, the prepare doc from.
Yep, and ours is the exact same one because, like,
Cool.
Motion City is doing this with us. So.
Cool. So Linda has a question.
Yes.
I have a few, actually. You said you've already videotaped or droned like the Renaissance, and you're going to do other communities.
Correct.
I was going to ask you what that fee was for me to do it personally, but since you've already done it, is there going to be a fee now for us to use what you've already done?
No.
No.
So I will so when you talk about drone, for example, the only differentiation would be the footage that can be shared is of the common assets of the community, right?
Right.
So we have shots of the clubhouse, the golf course, et cetera, et cetera. If you wanted drone footage of your particular listing, you would have to then re-get drone footage taken. But any
24
property we get in the Renaissance, we're just going to automatically, you don't even have to ask, we're going to attach common ground drone footage on that once this program gets up and running. And, really this is a time dependent conversation. So as the photographer has some time off from listings, especially as we get into the slower months ahead of us, we'll be doing more and more of that. And if an agent goes ahead and, it's the first time somebody shoots, a property in, I don't know, Leisure Village. If that was the first time they went out there and they hired a drone or she had some extra time, she's going to take that footage. And so if it's available, it'll happen automatically and there's no charge to it.
Okay.
So Chris, real quick, just to clarify that. So for the regular package, the 125,
Yes.
you're going to attach that drone footage to all the listings in Renaissance, to all the listings in Leisure Village West, correct?
Once we have those assets. Yeah.
Once you have the footage,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I can't promise anybody when every community will exist.
Right, I got
Right.
it.
It's going to kind of be dependent again. If a week goes by in March when the market's slow, that's going to be her job, is go around and start filming communities.
Sure.
Or if somebody gets a property in Leisure Village and orders drone services, then she's already there with a drone. Certainly she would take extra footage. Right?
Got you.
So I can tell you the Renaissance has been done. I can tell you the Greenbrier down in Ocean Acre,
Ocean
down there has been done. Those are the only two that are done today. And as they come, they come.
Yeah.
And certainly there's communities that have more to shoot, right?
Sure.
Renaissance is beautiful to shoot. Some of these, what are you shooting?
I mean, Leisure Knoll would be a great one right now with the leaves changing. It's a great time of year to shoot the knolls, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, right now, unfortunately, this program's launching on November 1. I don't imagine she's going to have much free time on November 1.
Right.
The market's insane right now.
I know.
So yeah, we're really just going to create a list as time's available. Or again, if somebody takes a listing in there, it makes it a little easier, right?
Got you.
And then, anybody that, has any relationships with communities, the biggest problem we found, and Dawn, you're aware of this, we've talked about it 100 times, but is getting access to some of these places, right? So, ideally we want to get in the clubhouse of the Renaissance and take some photos of the gym and the this or that.
We can
but you need
arrange
access.
that, I think.
So
Yeah.
some communities are super cool about it.
Yeah.
Others are a big pain in the butt.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
Hold on. Mark.
I wanted him to reiterate about that. We're doing free headshots on 2 different days. Did you go over that already?
No, but everybody got an email yesterday. Headshots. They're doing again with the photographer this time. So if you want more, get them. Look at those dates. There were 3 actually, I think. First, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so free headshots, those dates. Also a great opportunity just to come and meet the photographer, right?
Yeah.
If you want to start building a little relationship with her, come down to Tom's River.
Going.
And she will blow away everything we've ever done in the past. So come get a much better headshot.
Yeah.
The custom single property website, how are people going to find that?
It'll be a link.
Yep. So it's a link. Again, if you add that extra, domain name to it, it makes it certainly much easier to promote. And it really depends on, different things that you want to do with it, right? So a lot of agents will actually make a sign rider and they'll put that property address. So if anyone's driving by it, it's a heck of a lot easier to remember, 123hickory.street.com than it is to remember, crossroadsrealty.com / some random MLS number / to get to a property. And then obviously depending on what marketing material that you choose. So if you choose digital advertising as your marketing option, which I certainly suggest everybody do, that's where they'll land if they click on your ads. That's where they'll land if they, click on, different Zillow advertising options. So we'll be pushing it out, but you definitely want to be, giving that out as well.
Okay. The 24-hour emergency, you said that they do it in a promise 72 hours, but the 24-hour emergency, can you elaborate a little on that? Is there a fee? Like when?
There's not. It's just a matter of, is it, possible? So, I say, typically 95% of the time in the past, Motion City is able to come out, within 24 hours to do it. Certainly we'll have more flexibility now that we have an employee doing it. So we're adding employee plus the ability to use Motion City for a quick turnaround. Now, that being said, if you call it 8 o'clock at night and, expect it to happen at 8 o'clock in the morning, probably not likely. And then again, honestly, the biggest problem we have with all this is weather, right? So it could be, we could have all the people lined up to do something, extremely expedited, and then it rains tomorrow and photos don't get shot in the rain. So, we'll do our best. Anyone that's used a company like Motion City, I just want you to know that you're getting the same exact service through this program. Right?
Okay.
So you're never going to have to wait 10 days because we're backed up. That's what I really want to drive home.
What if we have someone, we deal in senior communities. A lot of times we're dealing with the children. They come in town and they want the paperwork done and they want the house listed today. Or they say to us, how soon can you get the house listed?
Yep.
If they want it listed immediately, we have to put in 5 pictures. Do we put in our own pictures? Can we put in our own pictures and then replace them with your pictures? How does that work?
Here's what I would suggest is that you move the start date of the listing. Give yourself 3 days. So if the kids are coming in today and signing the paperwork, what's today's date? The 15th.
Most
15th.
people
So
are
the
going
date
to
of
be
bringing in-
reasonable
You
for
started on the
that
18th, and
type
you
of
give
service.
ourselves 72 hours.
I just tell them it's gonna be next to their dates.
So Linda, let me answer your question. Certainly, we're never going to be in a situation where we're going to argue with the
But
client,
you can
correct?
get them to sign on the dotted line. You just date it 3 days in advance.
Let me, so we're never going to argue with a client. If you have to get a listing up in 5 minutes from now because the client demands such, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? And yes, you could use your own photos and we'll replace them. However, I would strongly suggest you to educate the client of what's actually going to happen. Those, bad photos, quote unquote, are going to go out to Zillow. And then what's going to happen is when those photos go to get replaced, you're going to call me 24 hours later and you're going to say the crappy photos are still all over the internet. And I'm going to say, yep. And it could take weeks for all the different sites to re-corroborate their photos across the website. So I would strongly advise your client to say this is a bad idea. However, right, client's always right at the end of the day. So of course we're not
Of
going
course.
to stop you from doing what the client
Maybe
wants.
the Village West generic picture.
You can put a
just to make
leisure,
it-
you can put a community picture, but again, all I can say is if you think negative about something, it's going to be a negative. If you think
Right.
positive about something, it's going to be a positive.
Right.
So this is a positive, no-brain thing. It's taking so much work off your plates, so much time, so much effort, so much coordination. If it's a vacant house, it's a different story. We all deal with that. But again, so much time and so much effort. When you go to this woman's website and you see the quality of the of the lighting and the photo, no one of us in this room could come close to the quality of what that woman's
forgetting
producing.
everything else, we're the only company that on a $200,000 house, we're guaranteeing a professional photographer. You
Absolutely.
think our competitors are going out and offering $500
Yep.
worth of professional photography on
There's
every
always
house?
going to be a circumstance where, yeah, you might have to put some pictures in the computer. Listen, that is always going to happen.
How often does that happen?
Very, very little. Very little. Very little.
Okay, but
Not to me
you know,
anyway, because I explain it to the client. It's in the client's best interest.
They need time to clean up, get the stuff, you know, off the counters, prepare the house. How are we gonna prevent the competition from stealing our drone footage from the communities?
It's protected.
Okay.
It is protected. Right, Chris?
Yeah, listen, anything on the internet could be stolen. They could steal all your pictures on Zillow right now. We slap them with a DCMA takedown notice that threatens a $100,000 fine per day until they don't. So
Yeah,
it
we
happens.
just dealt with that.
Certainly, if you see it, let us know because we will go after people. We have good attorneys.
Oh, yeah.
We'll stand up.
Yeah.
This is something that we do. Like I use Motion City Media. Sometimes my clients want something done my clients. I have competition breathing down my neck. I have a listing on Saturday. She wants aerial photography. I don't mind paying for it myself. I want to go in before, get it staged, do everything, talk to my client, make the phone call and do it myself. Is there anything?
Prior to
that I do?
November 1st, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
After November 1st,
We have
no.
to use your program.
There's no other company out there that's gonna touch us. So we already prepared for people saying, I don't wanna use your photographer. That's why we hired somebody with a master's degree in photography.
How many
So if you need a PhD in photography, I don't have that for you. So other than that, prior to November 1st, you're okay.
Well,
After
I'll be
November
right back.
1st, you gotta pay.
Go ahead, Chris.
What do I do if
That's
Chris,
different.
New construction.
He went away.
You did?
Oh, well, that's different. Elevate. Maybe they could do just
I do the pictures, the pictures will be gone.
right. You use other
Can you
other
use a house that
pictures.
was built by the state
Yeah,
builder?
that's what I.
That's what she does.
Yeah, let's.
It's her houses. She
No,
builds them.
I know.
So
I would just use previous photos from before. Yeah.
They,
that's gonna be that's like again. That's one of those situations
I mean, when
where
the house is ready, I don't mind. but-
yeah, yeah.
You can use this on rentals.
No, but rental, I wouldn't use a travel rental. Put it on and it's gone before you get a picture.
Well, then, I guess that hasn't come up yet, so.
Yeah, no, Mark, on a rental.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Who's gonna convey this to Janice and Lois?
We have other people, we will, but we do have other people online here, so.
Does everyone know that Vicky is back on?
Yeah, and she's online, I think. Tim's online, Corey Harris is online. Who else is online?
Where Janice and Lois?
Janice and Lois had showing appointments today. Definitely.
How about Ellie?
Ellie was here yesterday, and is she online? I don't see her.
We'll certainly put it all together.
Yeah, we'll have, and we have it.
We'll have a full presentation for everybody.
Anybody have any other questions about this program? The pandemic gave us plenty of time to think about lots of stuff, so.
Listen, I know he's been on you for years to do this. I think it is a wonderful thing, a wonderful.
To me, it's a game changer. To go in on a listing appointment, if you're up against 300 brokers,
Yeah.
and you can show what we can do on a house. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The people in waiting are like unbelievable. Like we're having professional photographs on $100,000 house.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
unbelievable. The big ticket, it's a no-brainer. But even on the less expensive homes,
Is there a presentation package that we have so that we can bring it to the
I think
agent?
it's a digital presentation package that's in there.
It's in here. Chris,
Yeah,
Did you
we're
put
making we're making some changes to that so that if you go into the CMA, there's that section for real site.
yeah.
Right, that's
Yep.
the name of this on the consumer facing side of it. We're just making a couple changes to it prior to November 1.
Okay.
And we're also abstracts
The
working
pages
on
are there.
a
So you
one
would go to
pager. On
with
this-
a iPad, or you show it on your phone? How would you?
there is a sheet in the Cloud CMA that's
that comes
under
out.
Real Site already. They're taking that, they're going to just adjust a few things on there. It's already there. The
So it
media
comes
is
out
there.
like you see
It talks about custom photography and drones and the marketing. We're just making a few changes. And then again, we're also going to make a one sheet on this. So you'll have a single piece of paper
Like that
describes
prepared
the
doc,
program.
right?
Did
Yeah.
he just think that there will be a digital so that you could actually show clients what you're going to offer?
You can always show clients this Cloud CMA digitally.
And then this program, is it going to be a special link for just this program to show them what they're going to be getting?
What I would suggest is
There already.
It's on our website.
It's already there in Cloud CMA. There's a page that says Real Site, and here's the services that you get.
let me
It's already there.
I get it.
if people can still see my screen, this is what I would do. And certainly you'll have better ones of this, but all this information is going to be available to everybody.
God bless.
Bye, Mark. Where are you?
Okay.
Maybe.
Sorry about that. Let me share my screen again. 1 second.
Oh, he has control of that.
All right. So this is a single property website. All right. So this is my marketing presentation to most clients, right? This is what you're going to get for your house. So this is a house in Greenbrier. Certainly within a few weeks, I'd imagine there'd be one just like this in the Renaissance or one just like this of some random house, right? So these links, although this is some agent's listing, is the marketing presentation for another client, right? So this is our 3D drone video of, and this is the kind of things that you're going to expect to have as the shared assets, right? So this is not about a specific home. It's just flying over all of Greenbrier and checking out the clubhouse. This is what a single property website looks like. So you have your MLS description, all your professional photography. This is one of the expensive 3D tours. Right, so this is the Matterport dollhouse tours.
I love this.
Right, so we can move through the house.
Crazy, look at this.
It works amazingly in VR goggles, which we've purchased and have here to kind of, wow clients.
That's Greenbrier Ocean Air.
Here's your video. So this is a video walkthrough of a property. So what you'll notice is a lot of people call video, like they take photos and make a video out of it. That's not video. This is actually videographers going through the house with cameras, right? So this is the kind of stuff you can expect out of, your motion video. Here's those 2D auto-generated floor plans off of Matterport. So, another good thing is when we have, specific communities that have, identical floor plans for properties, we can reuse some of this stuff. But you have all your measurements, all your dimensions, amenities of the community, your agent information, your form capture, and your map.
Share your share screen, like you can share it and
Send
then
this to Facebook.
it's great.
So this opening video image may be kind of similar on every house in the Renaissance, right? Because we may not do motion video, drone footage of every house in the Renaissance, but we can tag this. This will be on the front of every house in Ocean Air, right?
Yep.
So this is what I would be showing as my, along with the written documentation to a client of here's the stuff that's included. You're going to be sitting down with a lot of clients that are going to look at you like you're crazy when you say Matterport 3D imaging, right? That means nothing to anybody. However,
When they see
if you
it.
show them this on your iPad or bring a pair of VR goggles and strap them on their head and blow their mind, this is your sales presentation, right? And just going to say, your house is going to look just like this awesome. Here's our custom address up here, oneseabrightway.com. And that's what we're, showing people. You can measure right inside of this program. So if you wanted to know like how wide that door is, it's 5'4". So imagine sitting with a buyer and, will my furniture fit here?
I want to go back and measure.
There it is. Right? We can bring up floor plan, you know, dollhouse view
No,
and look this way.
here it is.
Chris, the bronze package says it's, the tour is available on Zillow.
Yes.
Only Zillow, or is it only that package?
So it'll be Zillow, and you know, it will go on to Flex. So the problem with Zillow is that Zillow actually, for you to have a 3D tour on Zillow, you have to shoot the 3D tour through the Zillow app.
They won't let you put up your own.
Correct.
You have to use their app.
Oh.
So now that link that comes from Zillow, like after you shoot it for Zillow, you do get a link, and we can put that in MLS. It is not this. I just want to be clear. This, what we're looking at, is done with a $3,000 or $5,000 Matterport camera
Chris,
with
do they,
proprietary software. The
does
Zillow one
Zillow-
looks more like everything else you've seen on the internet.
does Zillow allow you to put the Matterport, the walkthroughs up?
Nope.
Really?
Only through their app. So what we do is now you can link to it in like the
The description.
correct. But what you really want on Zillow, so what we want to see is, and you'll see how many people don't have it, right? But this video walkthrough, or it'll say 3D tour up here,
Yeah.
right? To get that banner and to have it, let me try to find one with a 3D tour. This shows you how many of our people are not doing this.
And they don't have a conversion software that
Nope.
like
They want you to live in their
crazy.
stupid ecosystem.
that'll cook them though.
Of course, I can't find anything about Ocean County.
What was that orange thing? I'll talk to you. Do you have any
I'll
questions?
even take a video walkthrough to prove my point, but
Look,
maybe. Nope, not gonna work.
one of theirs.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you where it, the difference between when you post it through Zillow and not.
Okay.
Hold on, let me, we can search by it. Must have 3D home. There we go. So if you see how it's right here,
Yes.
right? If you don't do it through the Zillow app, it doesn't show up here at all. Right? The only place a link, like, so if you put a virtual tour on MLS, right?
Right.
Technically, it does go into Zillow.
Right.
However, it goes into Zillow all the way under here. Then you have to do see more facts and features, and then there's a link.
Okay.
No one's going to see that,
Right.
right? If you
I
want
would
it to
put
show
in
up
the
right
description.
here,
Put it in the description.
you got to put it in, you got to upload this through Zillow.
Ugh.
So what you'll notice is this is clearly not as good quality and as the
No.
Matterport.
Right.
So but Zillow, again, as much as we don't like to talk about it, Zillow is where everyone's looking for houses, right? So every house we do will have the Zillow tour. Even the one we shoot a massive 3D Matterport tour, we're also going to shoot it for Zillow.
That's a lot of work.
So it ends up on Zillow no matter what, and then you pay extra to get the Matterport, which will be for the single property website, which will be for
Got it.
Realtor.com, allows you to put right up on other platforms as well.
All right. All right.
But we want to have that banner, as silly as it is, that 3D home
Yep.
banner you want to have on Zillow.
Yep.
And the only way to get that is to shoot through their platform, unfortunately. So double work for the photographer, but
Yeah.
very
That's it.
important for the agent.
Well, thank you, Christopher. This is very enlightening and informing. I appreciate it. Wait, Linda has one more question.
Yep, please.
Houses under 150,000, if we're not using this program, what kind of advertising are we going to have for our property?
Oh, my God.
No, if it's under 150. I thought we didn't have.
So you're still using this platform. It's just that $75 package.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But
I have
every
a
house.
question.
What about, marketing dollars for agents who are just selling a home, not listing a home? How are we handling that?
Still in discussion, but it's outside of this program.
Okay,
This is listing only.
doesn't charge.
So he
Yeah,
could-
it's fine.
yeah.
All right, thanks, Chris. Yeah, that was a question that somebody asked me
Yeah,
yesterday.
I'll get back to you on that, but we're kind of
yeah, I
figuring it
got
out. But it's
Yeah.
not. It wouldn't
Go
be a part of this regardless.
I don't do much in writing, but suppose I get a listing in Leisure Village West for $60,000. Is it gonna cost me $120,000
No, it's gonna cost you 75. Anything under 150,000.
for a $60,000 listing? That we're gonna
It's
get,
gonna cost you 75. You're getting 50 back when you charge the 150, right?
yeah, you charge $150.
So you're paying $25 to have somebody go take photos and upload them for you.
Okay.
In essence, you know what I mean? Like it's like a no-brainer. No-brainer.
I'm a Republican, I don't like
Eh.
that.
All right, I'm gonna.
And
I'm
remember,
gonna-
Dawn, just to who I didn't see who asked that question, but to that point,
Camille.
that's why I think it's important that we have those options for marketing, right? So you're essentially getting a $50 credit for marketing. So you do not have to use that marketing piece for that house that you may not think is worth doing it on. So, you could take that $50 and we could do a mailer just about Camille to whatever community you want. Right? We can send those just solds to another area. We could do a Facebook advertisement about you, not the property. So for $75, you're getting the photography, you're getting a $50 advertising credit that does not have to be used for that property. We could do something else cool with it. We could just send a mailer out to wherever. Right? So don't always feel like, hey, I got this really bad house that I have to spend this money on. We'll use it for something that's more beneficial than that property.
No, no more.
So then you get one credit.
Yeah, one item.
Credit.
Yeah.
And every item's $50.
Facebook. All right.
Thank you.
Any other things?
You're welcome.
Thank you. They take it out of closing. Thanks, Chris. All right.
If anyone has
I
any
will call-
questions, just reach out to Dawn. Dawn, contact me with anyone's
Yeah.
questions, and we'll get them answered for you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Talk
Talk
to
to you.
everyone soon.
Bye.